Time now for today's Market Movers with easy-to-follow futures and options trades from CME Group.
Welcome to Market Movers. I'm Jim Iuorio, and today we're discussing China's congressional meeting that convenes on October 18th. Now, this meeting happens only once every 5 years. At it, significant policy courses are charted. The assumption is that President Xi will expand his control, but this could have not only macroeconomic impacts, but geopolitical as well when we're considering the implications with our relationship with North Korea. We're looking at using gold options as a means of creating exposure to this event. We have Scott Martin, Chief Investment Officer of Kingsway Asset Management. Scott.
Hi, Jim.
Okay, is having President Xi in power the best thing for our ongoing relationship with China with North Korea?
Well, with respect to the relations prior to President Xi, it's certainly better. I feel like it's more open, it's more back and forth than we've had in the past. And maybe that's a result of Trump versus Obama's policies, who knows? But the reality is, with respect of what's going on in NOCO, North Korea right now, we definitely need relations with China to strengthen.
Now, can it be the economic driver that it has been globally? Do you believe in the story?
I do believe in the story, and I believe it kind of goes in concert with our partnership with China. I mean, more trade, more open discussions is going to be good for both economies in the long run, which effectively asserts, I believe, things to maybe actually work out better with North Korea.
So what's bigger, our economic relationship with China or having a relationship with them to help us in the North Korea thing right now? What's the number one thing?
I think it's the economic relationship, because the economic relationship can drive some of the political relationship is where we need the influence.
Right, and I'm not sure of that. I think it's the geopolitical one, and that's why I'm looking at gold for this. Now, before we dive into our trade discussion, I'd like to point out that as with all market movers, it's important to view these trades as examples that allow you to see different ways to use futures and options products to either manage risk or create additional trade opportunities, not as recommendations or advice. Prices and movements will vary. Right now, the DEES gold contract is trading at about $13.15. Scott.
Yes, you mentioned using gold as an expression here, and we'll talk about why that is, maybe versus copper in a second, or even versus silver or something. But the reality is this: gold has had an interesting juxtaposition next to North Korea events and also economic events, so I think it's appropriate to use it here. Specifically, Jim, looking at gold in the GC, looking at the 1290, 1280 put spread for me in the GC, it's going to cost you about 3 ticks or $300. It's off the DEES contract, has an underlying currently about 13.15, so expires November 27th.
That's the November contract.
That's right.
Okay.
It's the DEES. Right. It's the DEES contract, expires in November. This trade risks $300 to make a potential $700, because I believe if you look at the charts in the GC in the last, say, couple weeks, you look at that uptrend that we saw after the bubbling up of the North Korea tensions especially, we started seeing that uptrend break down a little bit, Jim, and break through some key support. So I believe that that'll come in well on that put spread.
Remember,
when gold
too, the
fills out.
last we heard from the Fed, they were a little bit hawkish, supported the dollar, which helps your trade. I'm not with you. I'm the other way, but I think that's interesting. I'm looking at buying the November gold 1330, 1340 call spread for 3 ticks. This is off the DEES contract as well. Underlying currently 1315. This one expires October 26th, though. The trade also risks $300 to make $700. Thoughts?
Disagree.
You don't like it. Right? You don't like
it's a
it.
wrong expression, wrong direction. But it does show you that there's going to be something fun to have in gold here. Whether you look at the issues with China, whether you look at the issue with North Korea, economic data, we got a pretty big slate coming out between those 2 expiration dates ahead. So gold is a great thing to put in your portfolio, aside from maybe ZN or ES that you already have.
When we look at the National Congressional Meeting, is that the unknown is the thing that scares the most. And granted, it's probably going to come out the way people expect it to, but the unknown's going up to it, I think, could boost gold. That's what I'm talking about.
It could very well, but now, gosh, do we have a hawkish Fed on our hands now, too? We saw the reaction recently from the dollar on that. We'll see what happens.
I get it. Thanks for joining us on Market Movers. I'm Jim Iuorio, where we're hoping to make you a better trader.